Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the Podocasts, your home for rational crypto news and objectivity, leaving emotion at the door and talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We're not offering financial advice. We're telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I'm your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. And joining me, as always, is the greatest producer of all time, Belle. How are we doing tonight, Belle?
Well, number one, I'm dying. Number two, Scott, you got one heck of a tan. I mean,
I've
saying.
been working on the James Earl Jones thing. All right, I think I got it. I am Scott Vader now. Everybody else can suck it.
We have a tendency to talk about what others are not talking about and bringing to focus onto use case cryptos because, as we know, these are what drive the market and bring innovation to a world that desperately needs it. The status quo is no longer acceptable, and it's time for a technological revolution. Welcome to crypto, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. So, we kind of promised you something different tonight. I know that I did, and I'm going to block out Emery with my own microphone boom stand, but I don't care. Look, you can still see him smiling, man. We're good. I'm going to break character here and do something that I've never really done, but I do want to address it because I've been getting a lot of emails. We've been getting things on the Discord. I've been getting private messages. Scott, what are you into right now? Where are we going? Crypto is slow. The money seems slow. It's all pivoting up to Bitcoin. Where are the good investments? So what I'm going to do is something that I never, ever do, and I will fully disclose what has me incredibly hot in the cosmos right now. For those of you who are stuck here and are going to live here and simply refuse to leave, I'm going to tell you precisely where my money is. Right now, this is my humble opinion, all right? This is not financial advice. Don't do what I do, for the love of God. Don't do what I do unless you have the money and the muscle to do it the way that I do it. We are going to have different results. It's math, all right? It's not personal. It is what it is. In my humble opinion right now, the hands down best, two things. Well, the best technology and the best investment in Cosmos right now is Jackal. Let me give you context. You guys know I am a heavy investor in Jackal. I've never shied away from that. The Podcast LLC spun up because of Jackal. Our front-end people, our back-end people, our network people, our financial people, which you're looking at right here, our outreach marketing, and also financial person that you're looking at right there. All of this spun up because of this product, because sometimes it's all about timing. And the timing on this one works for me, and the fact that it lives right in my wheelhouse is perfect. So I don't want to just throw that out there because, honestly, I don't care if you buy it. It means nothing to me. It's your money. I didn't help you earn it. It's not my business to help you spend it. I'm only telling you where I'm putting mine, and I want to give you a little bit more context because I tend not to do that, and I never monologue about this. But, again, I have an audience right here in the studio with me. So what you're looking at right here is the Jackal over the last 14 days. Now, I'm going to always try to stick to 14 days when it comes to Jackal, because right now the only place that I can stake Jackal, the only place that I can bury my Jackal or earn on my Jackal is in this single pool right here. And it's this one happens to be a gift because it's only a 7-day lock-in. So they got grandfathered in before Osmo went straight 14 days. So this one's only a 7, but I think 14-day tells a real good picture. The storage module recently went live. So what I was afraid was going to happen didn't. So I'm more excited and more bullish on this right now. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying it hasn't happened yet. So over the last 14 days, with all of the little crazy swings and stuff that crypto's been doing, Jackal has been performing like a damn superstar when you look at it in context. All right, now the big context that I want to illustrate here is right there, that 146%. Now, this gets into a whole lot of questions, a whole lot of, you should be asking yourself a lot more questions when you see an APR like that. Now, we try to illustrate these as much as we can, when we're looking at other products. You have to look at the rate of the inflation of the token. What are you investing in? Where do you see this thing in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, so forth? How are they paying that APR? Why are they offering that APR? You should be asking a who, what, when, where, why, and how anytime you see a 3-digit APR. Well, fortunately on this one, I know the who, what, when, where, why, and how. We've been covering this token since it was an idea. We were covering this long before it was a token. So I've had my questions answered comfortably for me. Comfortably enough that I have a great deal of my own personal money into this because I believe in the product, I believe in the project, I believe in what they're doing because, again, this is what I've been doing for 30 damn years. So I like all of those things. Now, I'm not trying to get you to buy Jackal storage. I'm, again, indifferent on this. The niftiest thing about this particular thing is that it appeals to the great wide world. It appeals to enterprise. It appeals to crypto. It appeals to non-crypto. And I want to be invested in products that appeal to as many people as they possibly can. This thing is never going to be not speculative. It's crypto. The same way Microsoft stock is still speculative. There's always going to be a speculative element in anything that you invest in. However, this particular one has alternative revenue streams, meaning the storage module. That's where that's not even the money shot for this one. It is just a predictable underlying factor to this one. They had an idea, they turned it into a product, and they monetized it. Now, if you've been following the videos that I've been putting out and a lot of the things that I've been saying over the last 60 days or so, I think you know where my head is going here, and I am absolutely convinced I'm right. This is where crypto needs to be going. We have great ideas. Those are fun, and we've been having those for years and years and years, but it's time to monetize them. And if they're not monetizing them, then they're just going to stay as a hobby. They're going to bleed. The new thing will come out. They'll be forgotten, and they'll move on. That seems to be the crypto cycle. Have an idea, knock it out, hype it up, pump it up, get people to invest in it, slowly let it degrade until the devs move on to another project, and then it's just a token that happens to be out there. This is the crypto cycle. So I am looking to break the cycle, and I'm looking to break the cycle with these kinds of investments. I want to be in this because what it does over the next 30 days doesn't really matter to me. What it does over the next 90 days has me greatly curious, and what it does over the next 180 days has me even more curious. But I've met the team. They've been on the show over and over and over. I like the product. So in my humble opinion, hands down in Cosmos, based on all the factors that I just illustrated to you, I believe that this is the best investment in the Cosmos as of now. Tomorrow it might change. 2 weeks from now it might change. But as of this moment, it's the best investment in Cosmos based on the simple fact that I can explain what that APR is and why they need it. Now, if you have a differing opinion, the neat thing is that I got the guy right here. He'll tell you all about it. You don't even have to take my word for it. Emery is right here. So I told you guys we're friendly away from all of this. We beat each other. We put on armor and hit each other with swords. So we're friendly all the way away from this. I just wanted to illustrate it. If you thought he was just a caveman that showed up on the screen every now and again, he's not. He's a friend of mine. We go way back. We're business partners. So, yeah, all of that. Anyway, I hope that puts it to rest what I'm into and why I'm into it. I feel similarly about a cash, but not quite. I cannot see the path for a cash. Now, the problem that I have with it, even though I love what they're doing, am I wearing the store? Oh, look, I just caught that, dude. Look, stormtroopers. I got stormtrooper cufflinks on. I forgot I had those on. Somebody bought those for me. Somebody bought me the stormtrooper cufflinks. I'm not going to say who. I'm just going to say that I wasn't the one who actually purchased the stormtrooper cufflinks. And I'm more of a Star Trek guy. You know what? There's more girls, and they wear short skirts. I mean, what's not to like about it? So anyway, look, I have a similar kind of mindset around a cash. I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they are monetizing their token. They're monetizing it by offering GPUs, by offering storage, by offering servers, the same way that OVH Cloud does it. However, I'm not quite as sold on that one because right now they are all about AI, AI, AI. We're going to harvest the AI market. I'm not sure if you guys understand the computing power that is necessary for an actual fully functioning AI type of rack. But your minimum that you're going to be paying out for something like that is about $200,000 to $300,000 for a single rack that has enough computing power that's going to make AI for a developmental computer on AI. It's expensive, and I don't know a lot of people that have $300,000 laying around that they're going to go ahead and commit to a cash network and allow it to be leased out piecemeal. I don't really see that. I understand, and I'm hopeful for them. I see them as smaller market. Somebody like me, I need to stand up Jackal storage. Well, hey, look, I can get storage right here on a cache. I see something like that. I see validators, huge opportunity for validators. The hardware is perfectly appropriate to stand up validators with. It's relatively inexpensive. I've had no issue with it. You guys know I use a cache. So I don't quite see that the same way. I see Jackal as a little bit more simplistic, meaning do people like to store data? They do. Well, hell, here it is, $8 per terabyte. Do people like privacy? They do. Well, hell, here it is, the most private network that's ever been seen, the most private network that's mankind has ever seen that has not been unplugged from the internet. The best thing you're going to have is probably right here. That's the safest storage that you could ever have. These are called thumb drives. I'm sure you guys are probably own some. This is pretty safe, all right? But it's not exactly able for me to actively access this if it's not in my pocket or plugged into my computer. So different kind of thing there. Anyway, guys, look, we got a lot we're going to get to tonight. I actually made a list tonight. We're going to hit some of the topics that I think are kind of fun. We're going to be starting out tonight's conversation with Juno. And we will be getting into Juno. A couple new pools over on Crescent we thought we would discuss. We might even take a poke at UK that's basically strangling out crypto companies right now because they're having a hell of a lot of trouble getting access to banking services. We're going to talk Osmo 2.0. I'm going to mention New Kind of Network again just because I think it's real cool. And if we have time, we're going to introduce you to something that you're going to be hopefully beta testing for us inside of a few weeks here. But as we always do, before we get into a bell, do we have any questions, comments, concerns, or observations?
Oh, yeah, we do. Makokata Streamwalker. That zipper looks like a priest's white collar. Father Emery?
Like Father Emery. I see it now. It does. It's got the little thing there. I didn't see that. Go ahead, Mel.
There are so many bad jokes that could be made between that and the sailor sitting next to Emery.
The sailor and the priest. A sailor and a priest walk into a bar. Should we keep going here?
Black Tornado. I want the opening intro on a T-shirt.
On a T-shirt? Belle, go ahead and take a list. We can put anything on a T-shirt that you want. You can imagine Emery reading it. He does it better than me. He's just got that. His voice has, in the radio business, we say he has balls. And he absolutely has balls. So, yeah, there you go. Carry on, Belle.
Okay, and Karnthus did answer this one in chat, but I'll ask it anyway. Brownsburg, that's Jackal question for you. Is there an easy way to tell when storage needs renewed or how much storage has been used or available?
I asked that question. Go ahead, Emery.
Yeah, and if Karnthus already answered that, that's great. But if I'm not mistaken, that is a feature that is coming soon. That's something that we really desperately need, and it's on the top of our list when it comes to statistic that our users would like.
Oh, 1 second, Belle. I have to play a sound effect. Did you say coming soon?
I did say coming soon.
Hey, you know that pain and that hurt. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Carry on, Belle.
Black Tornado, James Tiberius Kirk, all the way.
Right? Thank you. You know what? It's I love original Star Trek. Picard over Kirk, but original versus Next Generation and effectively anything that came after that. But I forget the girl's name. She played Uhura in the reboot, the Star Trek reboot. What's her name? She also played Gamora. What's her name?
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, you know what? That's all I need. That's all I need is Zoe in that short little Uhura skirt, and that's it, man. You got a fan for life. Carry on, Belle.
Berms, what's up with the creepy clown?
The creepy clown. This is this is from a movie. I'm a big fan of B movie slashers. I'm a huge fan of B movies, and I'm a particularly good big fan of B movie slashers. And this character here, his name is Art the Clown, and he was featured in a really B type movie called Terrifier. The movie itself was horrible, but the gore was over the top. And you know what? It hit every wicket for me. All right, we got to see pretty naked girls. We got to see just over the top gore. We got to see.
Sequel?
What's that?
Did you see the sequel?
I have not seen the sequel yet. That's coming though. We got people that are running from the clown that are hiding in closets. I love it when they hide because yeah. So that's Art the Clown. Hope that answered the question. Bell, carry on.
That was the last question for the moment.
Okie dokie. So I'm keeping it in third frame the whole way here, Bell. As soon as I close that crypto widget box, because you can't see me. So Emery and I had a discussion. We had it a while ago, about a year ago. In fact, we have it recorded. We could play it if people would like to hear it. We had some concerns with Juno way back then. Now, one of the concerns that I had and that Emery also had is that they're going to have once Archway launches and some additional L1s launch, they're going to have a hell of a time getting serious projects to Juno. So lately, what we've been seeing coming out of the Juno sphere have been tokens like Solar, Fox, Chow Chow, and it's effectively turning into a meme haven because it's permissionless. Anybody can build there. And it's actually, because of all the action that they've been getting over there, it's starting to have me take another look at it, and let me tell you why. The price is rock bottom. I mean, Juno is not in a good place. It hasn't been in a good place for a long time. I mean, you want to see a trail of tears? Hang on, let me pull it up here for you, and we'll third screen it. So if you'd like to see a trail of tears, that is a trail of tears. All right, that is not an investment that you want to have any part of. You do not want to be in an investment like that. And that's only when it was $3. I mean, if you really want to see the tears, there's the tears. All right, that's the 1 year chart of Juno from $25 down to 97 cents. To say that that has not been successful would be a little bit of an understatement. But context, I'd like to give you guys context. It's starting to give me an EVMOS feel. Now, what I mean by an EVMOS feel is a very, very passionate community and a token that is maybe beginning to get towards the bottom. Now, I would have been happy to say that this thing is just going to keep going. It'll be this token that we used to know, this chain that we used to be aware of, and now it's sitting at about 13 cents and nobody really cares about it. It could have continued going that way, but it does have a very, very passionate community. But right now, even though they're meme tokens, they are tokens. Even though it's not anything that I would really actively invest in, it's something that I can make money on. And the more of these things that continue to come to Juno, the more visibility that remains on Juno. Juno is stakeable in LP, and you could provide liquidity for Juno in a lot of places for a very, very decent APR. So I'm starting to warm up to it again. Now, the number that I'm looking for on this is about 92 cents. If I see 90 to 92 cents, I will most likely acquire some, just for the purposes of flipping it at 5 to 10% at a time. Every time one of these new silly-ass meme tokens launch, more visibility goes to Juno. Every time something comes out, more people are talking about Juno. Whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. What matters is that people are talking about Juno. I don't like the network. I don't like the governance. I don't believe that they have anything really, really special going on. But it's starting to get to the point where I can be profitable on it. And that's really what I care about is, can I be profitable on this? So, again, Emery and I had this discussion about, do you remember us having this talk?
Oh, yeah.
You remember it? Okay. So I'm going to let Emery go ahead and pile in here on this one a little bit because we did have this talk. Go ahead, Emery.
Yeah, so we talked about this, as Scott said, about a year ago, and I can't remember what that prop was, but we talked about everyone's going to remember this day where this prop came out, and Gino just said,
Wasn't it 16? Was it Prop?
Was it Prop 16? Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it
it
was
was.
Prop
where-
16.
Where Juno
was-
just kind of said, or everyone in the community just said, screw governance.
Screw governance, and Arbitrum just did it again. They did. People don't learn.
and as soon as that happened, it was a downward waterfall since as you can see, for the past year. So this network has effectively rooted itself in a particular type of market, and that is the meme token market, and that's because of the Fox you see. It's because of the. Can we go to Juno Swap real quick to see what's there?
I know it's down, but we can go to Wind.
Yeah, Windex.
Juno Swap doesn't exist anymore, but we could certainly take a look at Windex. I have no money on this whatsoever, but we can certainly take a look at it.
So Aqua, interesting for
No,
sure.
it's gone. It's dead, man. That's nothing wrong.
What else we got? Stars isn't doing too terribly, is it? If I'm not mistaken.
Stars is bottom, man. You don't want to touch that one right there.
Yeah, and I don't know half of these tokens. What's Y Juno? So
it's another one. It's another silly liquid staking that they're trying to do with Juno, man. They're going nuts on this.
so I don't
Post-human.
know.
That's the one you want to be invested in, guys. Right there, post-human. Take my word for it. Don't do it. All right.
So I don't know half these tokens. Muse, Czar, Can Lab, Amp Juno.
How about
Jesus.
Casa? How about
Yeah,
Owl?
that's related to Aqua, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is.
So when you have all these meme tokens, and people are coming over here and say we have a meme token, and Juno says, "Well, welcome in," you just kind of said this is where you can house your meme tokens. So they've kind of made their bed there, and if that's where they want to be, then that's great. But it's going to be hard for them to kind of pivot into something more serious if you have these kind of tokens on your decks. So your decks kind of reflects what you're going to be, and if Juno wants to be meme token house, then well, that's kind of where they're going to be for probably quite some time. And as Scott said before, when Archway launches, I think they do have kind of a better team behind them at the moment. And when they're doing something that Juno was going to do, say a year ago, they lost the race there. So if they want to be meme token house, I feel like that's kind of where they're probably going to be.
Yep. So, and by the way, I am going to add on to this, by the way. There is nothing on that I've scrolled through here that I find even the least little bit appealing. Wynn brought back something even better than what we were having before. And a 7-day lock-in is not enough. A 14-day is not enough. If you want to maximize the APRs over here, and by the way, this is miserable TVL. All right, this is a dying wind. It was find me a metaphor for that, Bell. Wind. I didn't name it. They named it. Find me a metaphor for that. This is a dying breeze, and the TVL is absolutely miserable over here. The best pile that you're going to get is right there, Wind USDC and Wind Osmo. Everything else, guys, we're talking about the 1,000. Juno, that's their big nut, but the total TVL on this thing is approximately $1 million. Now, I'm not going to poo-poo $1 million. I'm not. I'm just saying that I have more money than that entire Dex does. So it's not something that I'm really going to rush into, but I'm not passing judgment, man. If you want to swim in these waters, you want to have a go, have a go. I'll find different places to put my Juno, fortunately. And believe it or not, here's my crazy one. Are you ready for my crazy one? Juno Evmos. Juno Evmos. You said you said find a swing away. I think I found a swing away. I did. Go ahead, Belle. Questions or comments? Emery's going to talk for a minute. I'm going to show you this crazy-ass pool.
Carnthus, y'all aren't giving a shout out to the best Juno token of all? Where's my BDSM? Followed by Idiot Fish. Yes, win BDSM.
When BDSM, Emery?
I don't know when BDSM. Juno has yet to actually approve our contract. So until they say, yeah, you can have BDSM in our network, it may or may not show up. But I would love to have a BDSM Juno pool. I think that'd be wildly great on Window. It would fit the fauna there with the rest of the meme tokens.
They torpedoed the pool, dude. Juno Evmos. That's what we're looking at right here. This thing used to be at about 180%. Juno Evmos right here used to be at 180%. Even I want you to think about this for a second. I'm going big screen.
Is that TVL 1100?
Yeah, $1,100. I want you to think about this seriously for a minute. Even Evmos looked at this token and said, "Whoa, what are you guys up to?" So put that into your context. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Belle.
Idiot Fish, if you ask Juno Swap when BDSM, they'll ban you.
Probably. Probably.
And yeah, MJ chiming in, win power bottom. Well, MJ, BDSM is the ticker symbol for power bottom. So
We're never going to get that token out. I'm sorry. Carry on, Belle.
that was actually the last one for the moment.
You gotta be shitting me. You guys, I'm specifically talking about what you guys asked me to talk about. Did you just want my opinion on it and you have no questions, or do you happen to agree with me? Because if you guys are agreeing with me, man, look, I'm talking Juno Evmos as a pairing. There is no way you should hear me say that and not have any questions about that. That's kind of nuts. All right, but if there's no interest in that subject, babe, look, and we can always carry on. So, new pool over here, and we've been discussing this. We've actually been discussing this right this very moment. And the pool in question here is Iris Beakry. Now, I'm not going to be talking about this one. I have zero interest in Iris. However, I know that Belle has a little bit of interest in Iris, and I know that Emery has a little bit of interest in Iris. So I'm going to take it straight from the financial aspect of what I'm looking at right here, and then they can give you context. We haven't done this before. We're going to do it now. This is going to be fun. I got Emery in studio, man. I can do whatever the hell I want right now. At 430%, first we have to look at this pool as I look at any other pool. Are people going to run to Crescent to buy Iris? And in my opinion, the answer is absolutely not. They are not going to run to Crescent to buy Iris. Why would they? The TVL is remarkably low. The slippage is going to beat the hell out of you if you want to buy any kind of meaningful volume of this token. So they're not going to run here. Now, it does show up on the order book. You can see it right here. Oh, like I got Evmos. I'm guilty, dude. They saw what I was looking at last. Oh, my God, man. That's like being outed by Wi-Fi. If you go and visit a friend's house and you automatically hook up to their Wi-Fi, it means you've been there before. So it's like outed by Wi-Fi. I just got outed by the Crescent order book. I'm sorry. Let me get out of here. Where was it? So it does make it available over here on the order book. And for people who are like me, who are big fans of order books and doing things properly the way that they should be, this kind of works out real well. But I don't see a lot of people piling over here just for that, just for the order book. And again, it's going to come down to that TVL. There just isn't that much of it. So, like I said, I want to make sense of pools. I'm happy to get into pools, particularly 3-digit APRs, but they have to make sense to me. This one doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. So what it's going to be is heavily incentivized by Iris. So it is a chance for you to farm up a whole bunch of Iris, and if you come over here, it'll even tell you the breakdown of what you're getting, and in this case, it's going to be almost pure. That cannot be right. Are you telling me Crescent was the one who, or Crescent is the one that is doing the incentivization on this? So all you're going to get is Cree? Jesus, no wonder that thing is bleeding. That's not a good move. However, I'm not going to be Dr. Downer here. I'm going to turn this over to Belle. I'm going to turn this over to Emery, and they're going to tell you why they like Iris. So go ahead, guys.
You want to go first, Belle?
Well, I never said I liked Iris.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
You did say it. You did research.
No, I looked into it because it was a topic for tonight. But apparently, they've got they're providing NFT interoperability access across different blockchains and off-chain systems.
That could be awesome. I don't think it's going to be awesome, but it could be awesome. I'm trying to help. Go ahead.
So, something else I think is at least interesting is that they're providing blockchain support for the TCP IP protocol that runs the internet, and I think people have been looking at that for quite some time to see how they can utilize it, and that's what Iris is trying to do. I don't know the benefits of that yet. I'm sure there is one. I'm just not technically savvy enough to know it yet. But I think that's something that they're looking into and trying to harness. But I don't know what it is. That doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's good. It just means I don't know.
Again, they're focused on NFTs, and NFTs are luxury items right now, unfortunately. So while I wish them well, not for me.
I don't have the microphone, so I can't carry this conversation. Oh, look how quick he gets rid of it. You said you could do what I do, Emery. You can't do what I do. Nobody can do what I do. All right? I am the original. Any questions, Mel, or should we just carry on? Because I can make this extremely controversial right now if I choose to.
Okay, so Carntha's talking about anything related to Juno. Yeah, they can't stop you from building Power Bottom if you make it an L1.
That's true.
Oh my God! So Aaron is a very skilled front end developer. So an L1 is possible, but is there any? Oh my God! I just had it, dude. You know how popular meme tokens are getting right now? Do you hear me out? Do you know how popular meme tokens are, as they've always been throughout crypto?
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
You want Power Bottom to be a meme token network, just like Juno.
What do you think?
Can we compete with Juno is the question.
Doesn't matter. Can we compete with Juno for 3 weeks?
No.
Can we compete with
You see how many
anybody
meme
enough
tokens they had?
to harvest liquidity out of this? Can we do that? Can we L2 it on Juno?
Yeah, but we tried to do that already and they blocked us.
Yeah, but how could Fox get through? How can Fox and Solar and what was that other silly one that they had over? How can these get through, but Power Bottom can't get through? I don't understand.
I think
Look,
that's something to do with the ticker.
the ticker. We could change the ticker. We could definitely change it from BDSM to PB. We could do. We could call it PBJ. Whatever you want. You know what we sell? Oh God, who are those silly people right now? They're all over Twitter. They're gonna send you friends. They're gonna send you a friendship bracelet if you send them your address and your address. So if you completely dox yourself, they're gonna send you a friendship bracelet. That's what they're gonna do. Imagine what we could send them. Imagine what you would get from Power Bottom. So if you give us your wallet address and you give us your home address, we will send you a special gift, courtesy of BDSM. And I tell you what,
an autographed pic of the poster child for BDSM.
Whatever you guys have, whatever you need, man. And we'll send out numbered pictures, of our BDSM person, and it'll be, hey. But it's numbered, man. All right, so that makes it worth something because there's a number on it. I'd be happy to do that. What, Aaron? We got to talk, dude. I want to launch this token. All right, it's a meme. I don't care. It is what it is. We've absolutely disclosed that this is in fact a meme, but it's at least funny and obvious. So I will put. We just got to get a liquidity pool going. I will put up $100,000 so that we can provide liquidity for BDSM somewhere just to see what happens. That's what it's worth to me as a social and crypto experiment. If nothing else, I can document it. I can make very, very impressive videos that'll be watched by tens and tens of people. So, of course, that's worth $100,000 to me. I think it would be great. What do you think, Belle?
I think I definitely think we'd have fun with this. Although I have a feeling a few people would get a little up in arms over it and hate us.
Yeah, but it's my money. All right, I don't tell people how to spend their money. I could do it. Is the fun worth $100,000? I guess that's where the question really comes down to. How much is the laugh worth? Because I'm not so well off that I can pretend that I wouldn't notice $100,000 going away. It's, come on, I'm not that guy. But would it be, as far as a social experiment goes, would it be worth it just to give it a go? I mean, would that be something that we'd want to? Emery's shaking I can see him shaking his head here.
No, it's not worth $100K.
You know what? We'll talk about it. We can talk about it. All right. Do we got anything else, Belle? Or are we carrying on?
Berms, Injective B Creon Crescent says out of range. What does that mean exactly?
Well, why don't we all take a look together, because I got a hunch I may still have something in it. All right, so I have $4.30 in this particular pool. I have money spread all over this thing, and you see that they're very, very small amounts. That for me, that's not a lot of. It's not big bucks. As I said, man, I harvest my money on this every day or every couple days. Those are the rewards right there, and I call that swing away money because to me that really doesn't matter. And it was money that I earned through the APRs of whatever maybe meaningful or semi-meaningful pools I happen to be in here. The best pool in my opinion, the best pool that you could possibly find anywhere right now in the cosmos is probably that one, and that's Atom USDC. And that's because that APR exceeds the rate of inflation for Atom, and USDC is USDC. So that is actually it's stable enough that you can earn decently on it. As if you're just going to hold Atom anyway, why not pair it with USDC and earn, 33.7%? Why wouldn't you do that? But most of these other ones are just, most of them are absolute crap. And they bring visibility over to Crescent, but nobody's rushing here to buy Mars. They're just not. Nobody's rushing up here to buy Mars. But your question was the outer range. So when the tokens fall far enough apart, they turn into single-sided pools, and they no longer earn APRs. Personally, when they fall out of range, it's time for you to just get out, all right? It didn't work, but they're always good enough to launch another pool to try to at this particular time. So Injective and Beacree have slid far enough apart that this pool right now is effectively worthless. It is a single-sided pool. The only thing, and that you can see it right there. So all you can do is try to put in enough Beacree to make it within the range between Beacree and Injective, in between the price range that they will start providing liquid or rewards for. I have never seen one come back from out of range. I just haven't seen it. So the only thing you can really do at this point is unfarm whatever you happen to have in there. I have $4.30. This is effectively the only thing you could do at this point, in my opinion. It's your money, your business, you do you. But unfarm it and withdraw it. So just get it out. You know what? There's another pool. There's already another Injective pool that is launched when the prices were a little bit closer to each other so that they can pay out an APR on it. So I'll tell you what, let's take a look together. Let's see if there's, oh, look, there's one right there. So you could simply jump back into it with whatever you happen to have, which is about the same amount. And we'll go ahead and just lock it in right here. I like to do demonstrations. It's just easier when you can see it for yourself. So it's making the swap for me right now. All I did was hit the single maximize deposit. I think that is one of the best features you're ever going to see on any DEX is that button right there. It will make the swaps on your behalf. You pay the gas, but it'll take care of it so you don't have to do the math. I just think that that's a very, very great feature, particularly for people who are new to providing liquidity. So come on over, farm it up. And the same $4.50 that I had sitting in a dead pool is now in a live pool, and it's earning, what the hell's the percentage here? What was the percentage, Emery? Didn't you say it? He saw it. 154%. So, yeah, look, that's not the only way, but it's the way that I do it. So, and pools go dead over here all the time. They're mostly ranged pools. It's mostly ranged because of the way that they do it, because the way that they set their, it's pretty much all liquid staking. So, yeah, that's the way that they recover from that. So, that kind of works out. Emery, do you use a lot of Crescent?
I do use a lot of Crescent. I like the DEX. I wish it were a bit larger, but I think that comes from I think that just comes from maybe just not enough of the marketing, or people maybe just like I said, just maybe not know about it. And I'm hoping that they can find a bigger niche, because I really, really like the idea of the farms plus the order book. I think liquidity pools plus order book is the way to go, especially in Cosmos where you have a lot of locked TVL over there. Being able to trade in the order book and not just take what the pool give you for that local price of whatever you're trading, I think is great. So with an order book, you have that control over your money. If you want to buy something at half its price, you can do it. You probably won't be able to, but it gives you the option to. no one's gonna pay you for that. But the fact is that you can put an order out there for it instead of just letting the pool decide your price. So that order book plus pool, I think is a really good idea.
Yep, and I do use the hell out of this. This is typically where I buy my Atom, and I'll set overnight limit orders on this, and I'll always go under whatever Atom is. Right now it's $11.22. I'm not going to pay $11.22 for it, but I would love to buy it for $10.95. So it's nice and easy for me to come over here, set my price, tell it how much I want. Now I have to back it up with USDC. I don't have any over here right now, at least no Axelar. Where's the other pool? There's an Atom USDC Grav. Did I clear all that out too? Oh, I put all that in the silly Iris pool because the APR is just too high. I'll leave it in there overnight. I'll harvest what I can from it, and then I pull it all. So I do that with their new pools. Anytime they put in these big, massive farms over here, like 2,000%, whatever, and even this one at 429, I'll jump into it overnight. It's one of the nifty things that you can do with Crescent that you can't really do with a lot of other dexes. Simply because there's no lock-in periods over here. I put the money in and I pull it out whenever the hell I want. So if I happen to have a couple grand loose, or if I happen to have some Iris over on Osmo that I just didn't do anything with, it's just been sitting there languishing or whatever, then it's nothing to, you export it to your Kepler, come down here, import it to Crescent, farm it for a couple days until the APR gets low enough, gets back down to a reasonable amount, and then you just pull it all out. So that's another way that I do to earn a little bit overnight or over 48 hours, 72 hours. It's not a lot. All right. I don't earn a fortune doing this, but anything I earn is better than earning nothing. It simply is. So I would rather make money on the tokens than not make money on the tokens. And this is a lot. I come here a lot. This is where I make those little nickels and dimes. They add up. I mean, they just absolutely add up. All right, Belle, any questions?
Black Tornado, any interest in Region? The sustainability place seems on trend.
Oh, to me?
Yeah.
I have not invested in Regen, but I hear good things about it. I don't know what the tokenomics look like. I've not read their white paper. But if you like environmentally friendly stuff, that's the network to go to. So
Yeah, and I don't care about
yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't know anything about it.
that. Carry on, Belle.
Black Tornado, any thoughts on the proportion of staking to LPing with Jackal?
You want to take that one? You want to give it to me?
Well, it's dangerous, either one of us. Look, man, I'm a big investor in Jackal, so take anything I'm going to say with a grain of salt. Emery works for Jackal, so take anything that he says with a grain of salt. But we'll go ahead and let Emery answer this one. He's a lot more conservative than I am in his investing. Go ahead, Emery.
Yeah, as Scott said, I'm a little bit more conservative in my investing. I don't tend to take as large risks. Sometimes I'll know to do some things, but
You dogged me on Singularity, dude. I was all the way in on Fetch and a ride, and Emery just hammered Singularity. So yeah.
But as far as the LP to the staking, it depends on what you want to do with your Jackal in the short term. If you want to have ready access to it and are okay with the impermanent loss and the risk that it carries with the rewards that the LP pool gives you, then the LP is the way to go. If you're not terribly interested in trading it a whole lot and you want a steady rate of Jackal, then staking is the best way to go. So it kind of depends on what your short and long-term views are. So and your risk tolerance. Obviously, staking doesn't carry the risk that LPing does. So if you feel like if you have the cash and the amount of risk to pool that in the LP with Osmo or whatever is going to be LP'd with it in the future, then I think that's the way to go. You can earn a lot more than you can doing that than staking. But if you are a little bit more conservative and you don't need those tokens right away and you want to try to keep the network secure and a little bit more illiquid, which typically has a upward price pressure, then staking's the way to go. So it just depends on what your goals are when it comes to Jackal, and really any token. The same principles apply to any token.
And I'll carry on this one because we started with Jackal, so obviously you guys know I have a vested interest in this thing. So what I personally do for this token, for this entire chain to work, liquidity must be available. People must be able to purchase Jackal. Period. That's it. All right. With no Jackal to pay for the storage, you're not going to get Jackal storage. It's in my interest because not only do I provide liquidity and stake, I have storage providers stood up. So it's all of personal interest for me to make sure all three of these things can happen. Now, I've exceeded my own threshold for how much liquidity I will provide for a single token. I have too much in the liquidity pools. I just do. They're still locked in. Even though they're only 7 days, they are still locked in, so it's a concern to me. But that is only because I'm paired up with Osmo, and the impermanent loss risk is an issue. So I don't want to seem so cavalier that it's not a concern to me, because it is. So I actually have kind of more or less a three-pronged strategy on this one. And the first one is to make sure that Jackal is available to be purchased. That's providing liquidity. Now, the APR on this is substantial right now because they have to get tokens out there. There have to be tokens available to be purchased. No tokens available to be purchased, no storage is being sold, and the whole thing crumbles. So they have to get liquidity out there, and the way they're doing that is with the high APR. Now, normally that would just absolutely shellac a token. It will bleed down, and Jackal did, but that wasn't precisely Jackal's fault. The launch was not stellar. This was not what anybody really wanted, but it happened. So all you can do now is deal with the blowback. The whole idea was that the storage module launches in that big-ass liquidity pool chain, that 2,000% APR, so that there's a massive token dump, meaning that there's tons and tons and tons of liquidity available to be purchased. That didn't happen. We actually got two dumps. The first dump was that 2,000% on that liquidity pool, and the second dump was all the tokens that are being minted to pay the storage providers. That was supposed to happen simultaneously, and it didn't. So now we just have to deal with it. I need to make sure that there's tokens available to be purchased, so I provide liquidity because it is profitable for me to do so. As long as this token remains stable or relatively stable, meaning inside of 10 or 20%, it's fine. It works for me long term. I'll stay in it. But I have too much in the liquidity pools right now, which means that I am locked into the liquidity pools right now. If I decided in a single blow that I have to sell, I will I will absolutely shellac that token price. That's math, man. This is crypto, universal. It doesn't matter whether it's Jackal, doesn't matter. If you control that large of a portion of it and you decide to jump, it's going to hit the token price. It's nothing personal, it's math. So I don't want to increase my LP position anymore because it's already too big. So the tokens that I do harvest from the LP, I simply stake them because I believe in the token. I believe in it long term. I don't want to jump out, but I don't want them to sit there idle. I don't want them to sit there doing nothing. I have no intention of selling them, so it doesn't really matter. So I pull them. Anything I make on the APR, I pull out and I stake. Now, unfortunately, the podcasts... Bell told me not to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway because I've always been straightforward and honest with you guys. The podcast is not really representing right now the absolute epitome of decentralization because we have a lot of voting power on this network. Now, we're not number one, but you can see number one from where we are. So the tokens that we're getting now, we are actually having to, we actually have to delegate them to other validators. We cannot keep increasing our position. It's bad optics, and it's not what we stand for. It is not what the podcast stands for. I do not even stake with my own Bicana validator anymore. Any of the tokens I harvest on there, I send them off to other providers or other validators because we have to... We're trying to set the new standard. I know it's small. It doesn't really matter for us, but we are actually trying to set the new standard and illustrating that this is the way that we feel that a chain should be managed and that the token should be managed. So all of these APR tokens that I get in are ended up on other validators. The storage tokens that the tokens that we earn for providing storage are going to other validators. We can't even put them on our own anymore. But it's a way for us to to keep the network secure. This is a busy validator chain, man. I mean, if you see the way storage works, and if you want to know, we have Aaron on, and Emery's right here. They'll tell you precisely how much computing power it takes to do what they're doing over there. So it's important to secure the chain, and it's important to provide liquidity. So that's the way I see it, and that is precisely the way I do it. If that liquidity pool ever swelled to the point where I was under 20% of me, meaning I personally controlled 20% of the pool, if for some reason that thing surged up 15% overnight, I'd start providing liquidity again as opposed to staking. But as long as it's in this position, I have to stake it, and I can't even stake it to my own validator. This is rough. It is rough trying to take a stand, dude. We've had these conversations. You guys don't, you're not privy to these. But it's the three of us just sitting here banging our heads together saying, no, I don't want to do it, but we have to do it. I don't want to do it, but we have to do it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're stuck in this thing right now.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah, of course you can, dude. You came all the way down.
Yeah, so as Scott said, that we do have storage providers that we provide for Jackal, but if you haven't been able to spin up a storage provider, I think it's worth trying. Even if you were just doing it to just kind of see how it works for a while, I think it's a good experiment, especially in crypto, and it'll kind of give you an insight about how the infrastructure of crypto really works, because it's something else, and I highly recommend you do something, even if it's not that. But when we gain those tokens from the storage providers, as Scott said, I actually just finished right before I came over here, staking to about 30 different validators.
You dumped them all? Thanks for letting me know you were doing it.
I told you I was staking all of them.
You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me. Bell, did he tell me that? He was over at your place. Did he say that to me? Did you see him typing? Hey, I better tell Scott. Did he say anything like that, Bell? Go ahead. No, you can answer. Come on.
He actually created a list to show you, which knowing Emery, he probably already did, and you
Where's
forgot
the list?
already.
I'll get it to you. I'll
Okay,
get it to you. But when we generate these tokens, less than 10% of that goes in our validator. When we want to talk about decentralization, and we're in the blockchain space, we really actually have to do it, because otherwise you get things like Juno and Arbitrum, where that decentralization doesn't matter, and they just kind of, the governance kind of falls to shit.
Oh my
so
God.
we
Should
can't
talk
have
about
that.
that
Yeah,
Arbitrum
absolutely.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't we do that, Bell? Hey, Bell was the one who pointed it out to me. She sent me the article. Yeah. So Arbitrum decided they wanted to give, what was it, Bell? 750 million tokens. I think it was, yeah, that was right? 750 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they proposed to the developer fund, and they proposed a vote, and it got shot down. It died a bloody and ugly death, and then they just did it anyway. They just said, yeah, but come on, you got to vote. That is so... What am I thinking? Oh my God, the Russian Tsar, I forget his name. It'd be enough, I think it was Stalin. It'd be enough that people are allowed to vote. The only thing that matters is who counts the votes. And apparently Arbitrum counted the votes, and they said, no, people love it. Aces, let's go ahead and do it. So just stole $750 million off that chain just to do whatever we need to do with. It's that people got to get paid. You understand that, Bell? Do you understand that? People got to get paid, Bell.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I don't get paid.
No, we've never taken, that's the bear. We've been the Podcast LLC for a good long time now, and none of us have ever taken a salary. We've never taken a single token off from any chain that we are on. So Bicana, we've never removed a single token. Fetch, we've never removed a single token. Jackal, we've never sold a single token. I have a lot of sleepless nights about this, by the way, in case you guys were wondering. I understand I seem kind of cavalier. I have a lot of money in this. And the fact that it's you know what? Doesn't matter. I don't want to drift into that kind of honesty right now, Mel. So, all right. Do we got anything? Surely we had some questions on that.
Yes, we've got quite a few.
I'll just give it to Emery. It's coming to him.
Brownsburg Bats. Any info on how much the Jackal incentive renewal will be?
Yes, I have an idea.
But you ain't gonna say, are you?
Oh, he didn't ask me to share. He just asked if I had an idea.
I'm asking
I
you to
absolutely
share.
have an idea.
Okay. Are you not at liberty to say?
I have an idea. We're not 100% set in it yet. But I would expect that you should see Jackal kind of more spread across the cosmos sometime soon.
Oh my goodness, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, Jackal's not going to stay on Osmos's frontier forever, right?
No, where's it gonna go?
It could go a lot of places. I mean, the Cosmos has like a dozen dexes,
let's just
right?
spitball. Let's just say, where would you like to see it?
Well, I mean, let's just list off some dexes here. We have diffusion. This
Great, guys. Jackal Evmos. All right, you heard it here first. Round of applause, Mel, for Jackal Evmos.
we have Windex. That's not terrible. we have.
I think that'd be a great fit for you guys. That is serious.
the
We have-
windows are.
we have
Jackal's
osmosis.
apparently going to make sure the windows are squeaky clean.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
With
that
Windex,
would
we
be
have Jackal.
great.
We have Jackal Wind. We have Jackal Diffusion. We have the Osmosis front page. That's totally possible. We have what else did that? We have Sienna. We've been looking at Sienna for quite some time.
Sienna's good dex. There's
It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
What's the other one? Shade?
Shade, yeah. Shade swap is something that I haven't been on there for quite some time, so I don't know the tokens well. But there's a possibility. What else do we have? We got CFI, Secret Finance. Astrovault is coming up on Archway. Crescent would be interesting. The TVL's not super big, but maybe Jackal can change that, right? So there's like a dozen different dexes we could be on. So I'd say in the next kind of month or so, look to see where Jackal's going to be next.
Carry on, Bill.
Aren't this serious question for the Scott? Alter
I'm Scott.
announced during their Twitter space today that they are building what boils down to an NFT and FT order book system on Archway that will also tie into Alter Mail. Thoughts?
I thought you said it was a serious question, dude. You just asked me about 3 products that I've been pretty well solid in the history of this channel is saying I don't care about. One of them, of course, is NFTs. And should I say this? I'm going to say it only because Emery's here. And the other thing that I've said for a long time that I don't care about is Alter. I'm sorry, man. Look, they had a great idea. Their implementation is crap. So I want to say fix Alter Mail before you decide to expand, before you push into new projects and new opportunities and do all these other things. What you just said right there, Aaron, is you're telling me they're doing the crypto thing. So they're going to do something 80% and then walk away from it and do something else 80% and then do something else 80%. What good are 3 semi-functional products? What does that do? I don't understand the sense of it. But you know what? I wish him well. I'm sure it'll be a huge success. I'm turning over a new leaf, and I'm only speaking positively about things now. Look at Emery smiling right away. You ain't going to do it. Yeah, well, I'm only speaking positively about things right now. So I think it'll be a huge success. Aaron, thanks for that question. Carry on, Bell.
Topcat867, thank you for sharing about N-Mobile and NKN. That looks like a pretty neat project.
It's what we use. It's what that guy right there and the pretty lady right there. That's what we use is NKN. Wow, how do I say this one? It's functional. All right, it's functional. Whatever development was going to be happening on this seems to have stepped aside. But what they did do was prove that it's possible. And now that they've proved that it's possible, let me introduce you to IO. That's going to be the only thing I'm going to say about it. All right. Let me introduce you to IO, AIO. Bell, please carry on.
Makoka the Streamwalker could have animated twerking NFTs for Power Bottom.
You see, we have to find models.
You go ahead,
See,
dude.
with that,
stepping away from that.
with that, we
We've
have to
got-
find models, right? We need models.
We've got the poster child already. I mean, and yeah,
Who's that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's that?
Are you
It's not-
texting? You're texting him right now. Pretend we're live. Come on.
Who is
No,
who is
I'm
the poster
actually,
child?
I'm not actually texting. I'm giving insulin. So
alive? Sure.
Yeah, I'm staying alive.
For 10 more minutes. My
If we're gonna have motion capture NFT for that, we definitely need some models. And I'm not it. My hips aren't great anymore. I've been I can't do it. So we need.
Oh my God, I have the idea. How about this? For people who are looking for merchandise, how about the Boys of the Podcasts calendar? How about that? Watch Belle's gonna laugh.
Like a fireman calendar?
Like a fireman calendar, but it's the Boys of the Podcasts.
God,
What do you think,
no.
Belle? No, wait,
No,
wait, you
no,
didn't even let me
no.
finish. You
No.
did.
Nope.
She just nipping that shit right there. You
Nope.
notice that? Boys
Not
of the
happening.
Podcast, dude.
Can't have
What do
my
you
shirt
think?
off. I can't have my shirt
Nope.
off.
Do one of these numbers, Emery. Do one of these for the camera. You know, do one of these. It would be great. Carry on, Belle, before you
Hill
die.
A Hill 1, when is the share function going to be available so you can share files with people who don't have Jackal Wallet? Example, so you could store pics in a file and share them with the family.
Yeah, that is actually the very next thing we're working on.
Shepard, what a great intro. Look at that, man. He's like segued into that. Shepard.
But yeah, the share function is the very next part we're working on for Jackal. Sadly enough, why isn't Aaron on these streams? He can answer these better than I can.
He never comes on. Right?
Oh God, Aaron actually just jumped on and said, okay, in regards to the calendar, no whipped cream thongs. No.
Dude.
No.
Please
No.
You
No.
gotta have whipped cream thongs, man. All right, there's no point
No.
in doing something unless you are way over the top, and
No.
that would be absolutely over the top.
We're gonna get the podcast moped before we do the whipped cream thongs. Just saying.
I can't do that.
I'm having such a good time. Carry on, Belle.
Makokata Streamwalker, what do you guys think about the Polygon network? What is your favorite DEX over there?
Polygon, I actually didn't. I stopped investing in that maybe about 6-ish months ago. So I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Although they do have some interesting dApps on there. I will say that they are actually a chain that develops products on their platforms, which I enjoy. But they have. I can't speak to the DEX. I'm sorry. I just don't know. But I think there are some things that are worth looking into on Polygon if you want to look into more applications.
The issue that I have with Polygon, and I do like Polygon. I do like Polygon. The problem that I have with it is that there are so many financial products, and you guys have heard me talk about dilution. All right, it's not good for the market. It's not good for. I mean, competition drives innovation, but what it's done in crypto that it's been odd is the fact that it's basically built cults, saying that my product, which is just like your product, is better than your product because I'm in it. And it doesn't work for me. It really doesn't work for crypto as a whole. You can see the way that so many of these DEXs are just diluting out to nothing. I don't think it's a good thing. And the problem with Polygon is that they are cookie cuttering most of these things, both in between the DEXs, in between the lending borrowing, in between their financial products are effectively memes of I mean, they're mirrors of each other. And I like what they're doing. I like Polygon, but too much is just too much. And until I can really start to see something solid on there, you have to be able to monetize something that's not a DEX. You have to. If not, you're not going to get external income coming in, man. There's just too many other places for people to bury their money. It's a problem. It's been a problem in crypto. It's why I'm so heavy in utility chains. So, aside from that, look, man, if you're happy on Polygon, good.
I do have a favorite DEX.
Go ahead.
I actually do have a favorite DEX, and I hope Scott is willing to pull this up. So, and this is not only my favorite DEX on Polygon; it's my favorite DEX of all time. It's called Dino Swap. It's my favorite. And if you look at the last week, I've been doing really, really well on Dino Token. It's definitely one of my favorites out there. So I'm gonna put in a word for Dino Swap.
No. You know what, Dino? It's a big hit. Look, Emery likes it. Carry on, Bill.
Idiot Fish, do any of you have an IoT project that stands out to you?
Great questions. God damn, we have a good audience. I mean, we really do. We have a small audience, but my God, you guys are informed. Nothing I'm going to discuss right now, only because I'm not sure. When I'm sure, I'll discuss it. Emery, you got anything? You've lost Emery. Look,
he the same mind there. Really.
Yeah, you know what? We'll get back to you on that one, Belle. But please do take a note, because this is probably going to be a Patreon video, and we'll do it as a team, because it's best to hear multiple inputs on something like this. So, yeah, make a note and carry on, please.
All right. So very last comment coming in from Carnthus. You've heard of sushi girls? No, you can have a sushi Scott.
Is that where we've degenerated to, dude?
You guys started it, so
you had the calendar idea. Now we have to follow through on it.
Look, I haven't eaten much today, and I've been drinking since approximately 5:30. So I know it doesn't seem like much, but I take big pulls off my glass. I'm a very highly functional alcoholic. Sometimes things they escape, all right, and the podcast calendar will never ever happen.
Patreon, maybe? Is that something?
What's that?
Patreon, maybe?
Oh dear God, no. Belle, I'll tell you what. See if there's interest in the boys of the podcast calendar, and we'll sell a goddamn thing on Patreon for $5 so that we can actually pay you. Because I can't help but notice, Belle, that you didn't get a single tip tonight. You know that Belle works for tips, right? We don't pay her. She gets paid through the Podcast LLC, and so far the Podcast LLC has paid out nothing to any employee of the Podcast LLC, including me. You just can't do it, man. I mean, it's business is tough. It really is. All right, is that it, Belle? Are we all wrapped up here?
That's it.
Okay, Emery, you're gonna go ahead and get the last word.
Accent. I think one of the best things that's happened so far today, besides being 2 inches away from Scott for the past hour.
Okay,
now we have to do the
Come
calendar.
on, we're gonna up the difficulty factor of talking to a live audience. I'm gonna rub your back. Go ahead.
Hey man, didn't win the Navy, you know. So.
I'm such a sailor, dude. 26 years, man. I have no problem with male-on-male contact. And Emery was in the Army, so he's seen a lot of penis. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there was a. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. So when
I'm sad as I'm wearing fatigues. By the way, this is Scott from the waist down. Just in case you were wondering.
This has been a great opportunity to actually do something studio-like, where we're able to be together in one room, or at least 2/3 of us, and put some kind of show on. And hopefully in the future we can do something like this in maybe a bit of a bigger space, so that maybe we can do some kind of round table. And I think that'd be a very relaxed and interesting environment to just have a conversation with the audience about whatever they want to talk about, and interesting current crypto news. So I'd be absolutely willing to do this again, and if we have this large of an audience, then we'll see what comes of it, especially when in a couple months we have a bit of an idea about bringing some people together. So I don't think we're going to talk about that quite yet, but I think in the upcoming months you'll see something very interesting from the podcast when it comes to how we decide to talk and how we decide to do our interviews.
Oh, no, actually, we are going to kind of mention it. We got to float the balloon, dude. You got to find out if there's any interest in this, because what people will do online is not precisely what they're going to do in person. I will say this. The in-person thing that we have considered will be an open bar for podcast members. Belle, did you write that down? It will be an open bar for podcast members.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while.
Yes, but now we are going to do it this summer. I demand it. It will be an open bar for podcast members. Should we have a waiver form or something like that?
What would the waiver say?
You don't blame Scott if you crashed your car afterwards because you were drinking on his money.
I think the alcohol establishment takes care of that part.
Okay, as long as we have some removal on that, Belle, please look into that. Do a little research, find out how sued I'm going to get. It will be an open bar for podcast members. And what's the establishment that we're considering here, Belle?
It's called Lefty's Live Music.
Okay. So, yeah, and they do have a stage. So you will see 3 people up there on the stage. You will see multiple cameras, multiple angles. We're going to get this and try to make it, we're going to try to make it the biggest production that nobody will watch. That's our goal. That's what we do here. All right. We're going to try to make it the best production that nobody watches. Belle will be in attendance, and Belle will be wearing, I insist that she wears a dress because I'm the CEO, boy. That's why, Mel. And yeah, and we're going to make it a nice open roundtable discussion. Hopefully something really, really hot is happening in crypto at that time. So it gives us a lot of energy, a lot of stuff to discuss. And we'll be doing it live, and you guys will be drinking on my dime. So whatever you're going to do, there's no way I walk out of there. I will be Ubering home. After that show, there's no way.
Blockchain in a bar.
Blockchain, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, it's going to be a blockchain in a bar series.
So Bell and Emery put that together, and I was all over it. I was like, oh my God, yes, let's do that. We'll see about offsetting costs for folks that are coming in. We're a family show, man. Look, we're not going to grow much bigger. This is pretty much what we have. But I want to support the family because you guys have supported us for this entire time. We would not have kept going if it wasn't for you. Belle and I would have probably pivoted off to something else like role-playing games or medieval stuff. You guys have kept us here. You've kept us focused. You kept us doing what we're doing. And our hearts absolutely go out to you. I could not thank you enough for supporting this program. And we want to give back. So I think that's the way that we can give back. We're setting some cash aside to make sure that folks who want to get here can get here. And we just want to make it a one-time, just very, we want to make it something very, very memorable. And we're willing to do whatever we have to do for it. So Belle will be taking all of the details. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or observations, I'm even going full screen here. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about this, it will be happening this summer. Bella at ThePodocasts.com. All right, we would love it if you guys could start RSVPing to this. Now, it is in Des Moines, Iowa. So if you're not in Iowa, which odds are good that most of you aren't, please get with Bella and we can start maybe getting something set up because we would love to get 20 people there. That's all we're looking for is 20 people. It would be a wonderful discussion. It would be a good chance for us to finally meet you guys who have been with us 2 and 3 times a week for the last 2.5 damn years. All right. It really means a lot to me, and we would love to have you guys. So Bella at thepodcast.com. Bella's going to have all the details. We haven't finalized the date, but once you guys start talking to her, we're going to dial it in and we're going to get that thing nice and focused and say, this is the date that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. I think it'll be a wonderful time, a great experience. We'll bring in all of the podcast folks. You guys want to meet us, we're there, and we can just sit there and have a good time, do a stream, talk crypto all night, and just get silly drunk because it's crypto, man. All right, you need to get silly drunk.
Straight man somewhere. So we have
All right, guys. I cannot thank you enough. We ran a little bit long. I'm hungry, so I'm going to turn it over to the Bell before I start getting all misty-eyed again. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Hope you had a good time. Bell, it's all you.
All right, Gustav and Brownsburg Bats, thank you guys so much for the last minute super chats. Those are definitely appreciated. Gustav, it will partially go to ramen. Again, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys have, in between now and Thursday, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to drop Scott, Emery, or myself an email. Scott at thepodcast.com, Emery at thepodcast.com, or Bella at thepodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we cannot thank you guys enough for joining us tonight, and we will see you next time.
we are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at ThePodocasts. Also, visit our page at ThePodocasts.com, all one word, for all of our most current content.